Musicoverloader, this is Dazed Confused, yo soy Lara, and today we're having Cory Hotline with us, the space disco fantasy band that is gonna blow everyone's minds. Don't forget to like and subscribe to know everything about the Toronto music scene, and today, let's disco funk! Dazed and Confused, yo soy Lara, and my friend Shaq here. We have today Matt, Jay, Connor, Ben from Toronto's funk pop love making disco band, Cory Hotline. Here, yay! And we have some mimosas for today. Thank you for being here, guys. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having us.
We've been waiting for this. We've been talking about this a lot, and we were having these discussions like this sound.
We wanted to start with the Cory Hotline. Like we wanted to know, we did our homework. We couldn't find the reason behind the name. So talk to us about the name first.
It's from the television program The Simpsons. Perhaps you're familiar. A popular cartoon. It's lasted for many years.
Yeah.
The Simpson family.
Yeah, we do. We do know them.
Yeah, there's an episode where Lisa becomes obsessed with this like teen heartthrob Cory, and then there's a phone number that she calls the Cory Hotline. She racks up a big bill. I'm a big fan of the television program The Simpsons.
Okay.
And that's where the name came from. It's funny, it's fun.
It is a lot of fun.
It is.
It shows that we're down with The Simpsons.
With those kind of
We're
jokes.
down with humor.
That's cool.
What was the and you guys, when you guys got together, were you guys friends from before? How'd you guys start? Talk to us about that.
We all were born, as all humans are, from our mother's wombs. And we lived many years without knowing each other, and then we met. Okay, what happened? You guys played in a band.
Yeah. What do you say, you guys?
I met Jay through someone I went to school with at U of T. They were friends and they played in a band, and Jay played at some like university parties that I attended.
Yeah. Well, and that also you threw, right?
Yeah, I threw some pretty epic parties.
No.
And then
so he played at the party. Like, did you have a band at the party or?
Yeah, we had
DJ live band.
DJ
So
and band and everything.
Wow.
yeah, my
That
band
sounds
would
like a
play
great party.
his parties. Then came time that he wanted to make his own rock band with a guy. And they called me up, and I think that was the beginning of this band Rockyard that is now like our kind of working corporate band.
Okay.
We do like just covers and stuff, but originally it was an original band, and then from there that singer had to go to school in Ottawa or something like that, and we need another singer, and then my other band at the time, Breakdown, was playing a sort of battle of the bands type thing.
Don't touch me. It was a battle of the bands, and I was playing in a different band at the time called The Broadcast. And we performed at that together, and then they sent me an email saying, come and jam with us.
What were you playing? Like, was it a cover band as well, or were you playing?
At the time, these were two original
Yeah,
bands.
two different ones.
Two different original bands. And then
I basically saw him sing, and I was like, Connor, you should ask this guy. He was like, ah!
That was pretty good.
Accurate.
A flawless version.
I guarantee you that's exactly what happened.
So then I went to jam with them, and then we played a bunch of music for a few years, and then we slowly but surely were like, let's make a new band that sounds like sex and other fun things. And then so we started like building Cory Hotline over a long period of time, and during that time we were performing as Rockyard, which is like a covers band, and then Ben, through music, just came to see us and dug the band.
Yep.
And then we needed a bass player to sub in for Rockyard gigs. And so someone recommended Ben. We got Ben.
Yeah, I knew about Rockyard for a long time before I got to play with you guys. I was like a fan of the band already.
Do you remember Ben, how they contacted you, or who contacted you?
Yeah, it's just like, the music communities are so small. So the guy who they were using to play bass couldn't do a gig, so he asked me to sub in. I was like, yeah, I love these guys. So I did. And I guess they liked it, so they called me again.
Did you guys hear him play before you got?
No. We met
our first time we met him was at our own gig, like on stage. And he's like, "I'm playing bass for you guys." And we're like,
I was like, you're not Kyle.
Yeah, it's like very classic
You
musician
knew the
experience.
songs already.
He's a pro! He knows every song!
I knew them everything.
Classic, but it wasn't even a full gig. It was
Yeah,
like
it was one set.
you hardly get like a more classic music, like actual musician gigging experience than this. So the bass player was playing with these guys, had another gig, and he couldn't make the first set of their gig. So he called me and he was like, "Hey man, I'm gonna be late to the first set of my second gig of the day. So I need you to play the first set with these guys. Here are the songs they're gonna play. Just learn them."
Were they cover songs?
Yeah, it was a cover gig.
okay.
It was in the Hideout.
Yeah.
Rip.
Was the
Yeah,
hideout?
Hideout.
And so like he's like, "I'm gonna be there." Yeah, let's raise a glass to the Hideout.
The Hideout,
I'm
yeah.
finished. She's like, "I'm gonna be there for the second
Hideout.
set."
You want to reveal?
But I need you for the first set. So I'm like, cool. So yeah, I don't even know if these guys knew I was subbing in until I showed up. But yeah, I played the first set, and then Kyle came and did the second set, third set, and killed it.
It might have been like that day where Kyle
think
was
he-
like,
yeah,
"Hey,
he-
I'm sending another guy
Yeah.
to play bass for the first set."
But we knew about you before then. Kyle had mentioned you a bunch of times.
But that's how it happens.
Yeah. All right.
It's not some huge organized experience. It's like, hey,
No.
this guy's gonna be there today.
But obviously they liked you playing, right? That's
Oh, yeah.
why.
Well, we
Because then
fell
we-
in love, and then we kissed for the first time. We knew it was meant to be.
Was there tongue involved?
True.
Of course.
Just a little bit.
And then
Were you gonna kiss
the
her?
Cory Hotline record was recorded with a different bass player.
Yeah. Okay.
Who then he fucked off to go to the States to go and like tour with some country singer. And so when he did that, we were then we had him like we had these Cory Hotline gigs. So we had Ben, who we knew was a great player, to come and play those gigs. And then after a couple gigs, he was like, "Do you guys mind if I like join your band? Because I like it." We're like, "Yeah." And then he joined the band for real. And then we of course sealed the deal with another kiss.
Okay.
Were you guys
on stage in front of everybody.
On stage.
were
It's
you
always
guys,
on stage.
I can neither
before he
confirm
asked,
nor
were you
deny.
guys entertaining the idea of bringing him on?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's
Then
good.
these songs,
he was
were they also funky songs? Like, they're not easy songs on the bass. You're like the main thing in the songs.
Well, I mean, for sure. This band is so fun for a bass player. It's like candy. You know, it's like every song is
Of course.
great for my instrument.
Yeah, yeah.
And I love the guys. I think they're all like,
It's awesome,
I
yeah.
legitimately love them. I love the music, so easy decision for me.
That's
Yeah.
awesome, yeah.
Fun and energetic. When as I was doing my homework, I was like, "Oh, these guys are amazing." And fun was the first thing that came to my mind when I was listening to your music.
Yeah.
And then I guess energetic would be the other word.
Upbeat.
Upbeat.
I like upbeat.
Because I'm trying to be a happy person.
Yeah.
Especially now during all these things around the pandemic and everything. But I guess you guys hear that a lot. What do you,
I never tire of hearing it though.
It's sort of our MO when we're as performers, like whether it's Cory Hotline or other bands. Like I don't think any of us are really all that laid back when we're performing.
If it ain't fun,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
then why? Then why
Yeah,
do
yeah.
it?
as they say.
I think it's like when we get together too, especially
Yeah.
like we can't not drop a huge energy bomb. Like
Yeah.
even on nights where it's like somebody will show up and be like, "God, I'm so tired." Matt will be like, "Oh, my voice is not good. I'm just gonna take it easy tonight, guys." And like 3 songs in, it's just like
Take it to
110%.
take it to the
Like
next level.
yeah, it's just like there's no holding back.
Actually, this is a good segue to our next question. We were going to ask you guys, how are you guys, when you guys are not playing music, when you guys are hanging out together? Like, is your fun and energetic personality kind of reflect on every other aspect of your life? How are you guys individually?
Yes.
We're trying to keep the question open-ended so we can get to guys to talk more.
I guess I would describe myself as yelling
Loud.
most of the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I mean, just like the pursuit of fun is good, and the pursuit of joy is good, and I mean, obviously, it's not all like crazy all the time. At some point, you gotta go to bed,
Yeah.
for example, or just like chill. But yeah, we like fun. We like being funny.
Yeah.
We like having a good time. We like playing music. We like sharing music. We like creating human connection.
Yes.
That's amazing.
Exactly, yeah.
Human connection. I love that.
Yeah.
Gives you energy, man.
Yeah. You
Get
put
it.
out that much energy, you get it back.
I felt even watching the video. I think you guys did a live performance at the Links.
Did?
Yeah.
Was that during the pandemic?
No, that was a little before that.
Because the video was, I think, I was out during.
Oh
the
yeah.
I think we released, we sort of
Staggered
backlogged
them,
a bunch
yeah.
of stuff
Yeah.
for that old thing we all call the internet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We like recorded a bunch of videos and then meted them out over time.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think we shot those before the. Excuse me. We shot those before the pandemic.
Well, we would have had to, yeah, because it was closed.
It was closed. Yeah, I mean it's open now. It was closed for most of the.
all the things that you do, like your t-shirts, your merch, your everything that you show in your videos, everything is so connected. It's so organic in the same colors, the same aura. Where is that coming from?
We got it. We got it. I don't know. It comes from
Who did that? I mean, that's
It
genius.
started with blue and pink.
kind of all of us
That's
together.
genius.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's just like, I don't know, we've all played in bands for a long time.
Yeah.
And like I said earlier, we spent many years being like, basically we didn't want Cory Hotline to exist until it was ready to happen. You know?
Okay.
We weren't interested in like figuring out who we were while we're playing live and releasing records. So we spent a few years like, what are we? What do we sound like? What do we look like?
Exactly,
So
yeah.
that when we come out, it's like, oh, how do we not already know these guys?
Yeah,
You know,
yeah,
we're
yeah.
trying to like make it a big deal. So
You totally did that.
that's
Yeah.
just branding. We just spent a lot of time considering it.
That's very
Just to
smart.
sort of
Yeah.
roll off what Matt was saying, like we've all played in a lot of bands and we're all been in music for a long time.
Yeah.
So we've kind of been there, done that, and made a lot of mistakes or gone forward with things and had to figure out how to do them later on when it was, you know, already kind of too late in some way, shape, or form. So we did spend a lot of time discussing these things and coming up with the right the right answers to those questions, what we're trying to do, what it might look like, what color schemes would be, what outfits could be, even though that can still change and
Yeah.
still continues to evolve.
True.
There's a lot of time spent making it right, making sure all the cards were in the right place so that when we had opportunities, quality was there, branding was there,
Yeah.
content was there, so you wouldn't get into a situation where someone's like, oh, you guys are really good, except we have to do this, this, and this, re-record this, and this.
Yeah,
It's like,
you have everything
nobody wants to
already
do
there.
that.
Yeah.
Musicians are pretty naturally perfectionistic people, I think. You know, we hold ourselves to a pretty high regard, you know, as far as like a certain level of quality.
Does that attitude parlay over to the music? Like when you guys are finalizing?
Oh,
No.
primarily.
We hate the music and we pay it no respect.
Well, before we move on to that, that's really smart, guys, because a lot of bands that we interview, they
Yeah.
are great, but they don't know how to market themselves. But you guys
Yeah,
do.
say that into the camera. These other bands suck. No, listen. It's like you learn when you do it for a long time. It's like there's so much more to being successful than being like. I think being a great band musically is the bare minimum
Yeah.
for being
Yeah,
a good
that's true.
band.
That's true.
You know, if you can't, you know,
I don't
obviously.
even think it hits the bare minimum.
Yeah, like you have to have that, obviously.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then on top of that, it's got to be like, you need a little bit of that,
That's
a little
true.
bit of that.
Yeah.
And then we were just like, how do we make it so that it's like a little bit of that?
Yeah. Musically perfect, but then everything else can be
Connected.
connected on top of that.
Yeah,
Like
musically
everything,
perfect
that's
is a
amazing.
good way to put it.
Yeah.
I like that.
I know
I like
that
that
myself.
quite a bit.
We spent a lot of time messing around with how we wanted everything to sound, like because we're coming from like a rock band where it's like guitar, bass, drums, like kind of heavy distortion on guitar and everything.
Yeah.
And it's like we didn't necessarily go like we're gonna go from here to blazing synthesizers and like funky, clean guitar rhythms and like whatever Michael Jackson-y kind of stuff. It was like we wanted to go somewhere in that direction, but we weren't sure where. Like we wrote a lot of songs.
It was a process for sure.
Yeah, and like we played around with all these songs and different instruments and different ways of playing them and styles and everything. Eventually, we kind of arrived at where we.
Speaking of that, the synthesizers play a very significant role in the songs. I feel that all the melodies that are there, they actually come in front of the song, and that's very appealing. I really like that. Also the solos that you're playing, you're kind of bringing back that 80s feeling, but with a new vibe, which I really like.
Yeah, there's definitely like a retro vibe to it,
Exactly.
but retro future.
No
retro
one,
future
no
is
one's got
retro
guitar
future.
solo these days.
I like retro future or space disco
Yeah.
or
Space
future
disco.
funk.
Future funk, yeah, I mean,
I
all those
like
three
those.
kind of things.
Yeah.
Yeah, when I heard
like
the guitar
those.
solo, man, I was just like, yes! No one's got guitar solo these days. Like,
It was short but sweet.
you just
yeah.
gotta like.
Sometimes there are, but
But just
it's
coming
not-
from like our old music where there was a guitar solo in pretty much every song.
Maybe two.
You know?
Yeah.
Maybe two. Yeah. Maybe two.
How are you solving that with the? I see that you are that
Am I
the
solving
keyboard
it?
is not here. Who is writing the keyboard or the melodies in the songs?
Well,
Or who's playing them in the record?
on the record, I think it's all Alan, right?
Well, it's Alan and Connor.
Yeah.
well,
yeah.
exactly. We have
Yeah.
a guy,
You play
Alan.
keyboard too?
Yeah, I do.
Nice.
I do
Can
some
I
keyboard
kiss Connor for a second?
Yeah,
Connor
go ahead.
fucking like learned. He produced our whole record, and he was like learning how to do it on the fly. And he's
Okay.
always been a guitar guy. He's great music theory understanding, but he was never a synth guy. A lot of the synth parts were done by our friend Alan Zamitis, who's a fantastic keyboard player. But like for all of the synths that you hear on the record,
Yeah.
there's another billion synths that we recorded that we didn't end up using because of just the process of finding the right stuff.
Okay.
And Connor is a producing genius, and he like a lot of it was Alan, and then afterwards we were like, okay, what's missing? What can we boost? What can we change?
Yeah.
And that's when he came in. He played a bunch of it. He did a lot of the arpeggiators and stuff.
I wouldn't say I played a bunch of it.
No, but you drew a bunch of it. Yeah, but you know,
I'm
like,
just curious, what program did you use?
Logic.
Yeah.
Logic, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, like...
he's a genius.
Thank you. Thank you.
Logic
Sorry,
genius.
we're gonna get fucking.
Can't take this guy anywhere.
You really can't.
His idea was to step during working hours.
I shouldn't have had this fucking fifth coffee.
We rarely get fired from a gig.
We've never been fired because we're far too charming.
We never got fired once.
This guy
I
can
think we
try to
got fired
fire
once.
us. Bring him back. I'll talk to him next time he comes.
Tell us more
I'd
about
say-
that. Well, sorry, continue, and then I'll ask you about that time that you were fired.
We did get fired.
Well, Alan was a great... He played like... First of all, he has like 30 keyboards in his house.
Oh wow.
So
okay.
you go in his apartment and there's like, you know, the Wurlitzer, the Rhodes, like all the original ones. So all the like analog kind of electric keyboard sounds you hear on
Okay.
that are like the Wurlitzer and the Rhodes and like the old Roland synthesizers
Yeah.
and stuff
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
He
And
did
the
a bunch of
Moog and
synths
everything.
as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Moog. Like
They
the,
sound
yeah.
amazing. They
Like,
don't sound
mono
like virtual.
leads.
They
Like
sound
in the
real.
Wheel, for
They sound
example,
very
we
cool.
haven't released
yeah,
that
they
song yet. The Wheel's coming out next.
Yeah.
It's got this epic synth solo, like crazy synth solo, right? And it's all on like a Moog and everything.
Yeah, yeah.
Mostly
but-
improvised solo, I think, too, right?
There was like 10 solos, and I like.
Yeah.
Hey,
I
don't
composed.
tell them how we make the sausage, guys. He played it all live. He's a genius.
I was going like improvised.
But anyways-
No smoke and mirrors here.
Yeah, but then
Mr.
there's
Thompson.
How did you guys find Ellen? Was it part of the friend
He's-
circle or?
I went to school with Alan. Yeah.
Yeah.
We played a lot in other bands and jazz and all that.
Yeah.
Fusion.
There's
There's
a lot of
involved
like,
a lot of
pieces with Alan.
improvisational bands as well, so I knew that like he played in the band The Breakdown. That's the band we talked about earlier when he was in the broadcast we met. So like I played a fair bit with Alan and like knew what his improvisational skills, recording skills, and just like he's all around good guy, funny guy. So good guy to include into a project when we needed a keyboardist.
Nice.
Yeah.
And the community is so small too, man. Like
True.
I said, it's almost more surprising when you don't know somebody.
Yeah, agreed.
When like a music pro shows up and you've never heard of this guy before, like that's the weird thing.
Yeah,
you know?
and
It's
you're
like,
from
you kind of-
Toronto.
Yeah, like you've been doing this too.
You also live on Dover Court?
Yeah, exactly.
Coming back to that, would you say that the Toronto music scene is so small, and is there a lot of ways to grow it, or how can we make it better? How can we improve it?
I just mean it's small. It's kind of small by necessity because, I mean, there's already not enough work for the amount of great musicians that this city has in order to support. So it's
Why
hard
do
to.
you think that is?
Oh, that's a hard. Well, I mean,
That's a
There's
lot.
like
we
four
talking-
questions here. Yeah.
Are we talking during COVID or pre-COVID? Because there's two very
Pre-COVID, like
different
general
COVID,
when it's normal
yeah.
times.
That's a really hard question to answer in one sentence.
You guys would be
too.
an expert on that. We want to hear from you guys. You guys are experiencing it.
I don't know. I think there's a lot of people in Toronto that really enjoy music, and there's a lot more people who don't necessarily want to drag their asses out on a Friday or Saturday to go check out a band.
Okay.
You know, Toronto's a great musical city. There's like a huge amount of musical talent here.
True.
But I think there's more great musicians in the city than there are gigs to fully support them.
Yeah.
By far.
Or
I
like
think that's pretty much the same everywhere.
you can look at towns like New Orleans, for example, which has like such a rich history of music,
Yeah.
and they have systems in place to continue supporting that music and to continue having that be a part of their identity. And
Nashville.
Nashville is
Nashville,
another
for
great
example.
example, absolutely. And Toronto has always promised artists it would be that kind of city,
Yeah.
and it's massive,
It
fourth
feels like
largest city. It can feel like it,
Yeah, yeah.
but then like
don't.
all the venues close,
Yeah.
and there's still like awful bylaws in place to like
Prevent
stop
it.
music
Yeah,
from
it's
being
like
played.
the mayor says like, oh, we want Toronto to be a music city. His actions are the exact opposite. It's like we're putting more laws in place to not have music.
Really?
Yeah, and like
Tori, are
noise
you listening to
laws.
this? No, we're not voting you anymore.
Tweet us, Tori.
Yeah, I'll talk to Tori.
I mean, yeah, I think that's definitely
few
a
words for
part
her.
of it.
Yeah.
And also, like, I don't know if you guys know about this COVID situation.
What?
But
What is COVID?
it is fucked. And that's really, really fucked everything up. So yeah, check out the news. There's a lot of interesting information out there about COVID.
Don't check out the news.
Don't and then there's also like a weird thing in Toronto, I think, about kind of being too cool for school and like even going to. I've like been at shows where everyone in the room is like seeing their favorite band in the world and they're all like
acting
arms
unimpressed.
crossed, like
That's a
yeah.
vibe. That's
This
a Toronto
kid-
vibe.
Is that just Toronto, or like have you guys felt that anywhere else in Canada?
I think it's a pretty uniquely Toronto.
really?
Like seeing their favorite band, and be like, nah, they were better when I saw them last year.
That's such a Toronto vibe. You're right.
I think there's a lot of
Yeah, fans suck.
a lot of different moving parts to this type of reasoning behind why the Toronto situation
It
is
might
the way
be
the
too,
situation is. But I was gonna say just so I like what you said about the infrastructure not being conducive to bringing music up and bringing the arts in general. I think and entertainment in the city up and really supporting it and allowing it to expand in the way that it needs to expand is much more restrictive, it seems.
Yeah.
But I think it's also that the amount of people who are just genuinely music lovers. So you have like your doctors or your lawyers and stuff who aren't musicians and that have money to spend on music. There's not really a vast population, I find, of people who are strictly like music fans. When you know a few people who are music fans and they see like 200 concerts a year, they buy all the merch, like there's not enough of those types of people in Toronto. And you have a lot of people who really love music and want to succeed are musicians and are artists like us. And as much as we want to support our friends, we can't support them to the level that a true music fan can support them.
Yeah.
Right? And we're all running around doing our own gigs. It's
Yeah,
like I can't go to see Matt play in another band because I'm always playing. I'm like, I could buy a t-shirt from him, but like I'm not gonna buy all his records. So we don't have enough true music fans in the city who are going out and supporting the musicians. And I think that's equally as important.
That might be
That's
like
true.
the chicken for the egg kind of thing, where it's like maybe music fans are made because there's a system to
Perhaps.
nurture them.
But like I know in like if you go to some European countries or even in the U.S., they have these people who are just music fans.
I think because in Canada, in Toronto especially, as like four, like cis white dudes from middle class families, it was pretty easy to be like, we could be musicians. And I think that opportunity is really here in Canada. And someone pointed out to me that in Toronto versus somewhere, like London, England, or other places in Europe, I think is a great example, the ratio of people in bands to people who want to see music is just so skewed. Like everyone is in a band and no one wants to go see shows.
in Toronto.
Whereas in other cities, there's less people in bands and more people who want to just experience art.
Wow.
And here it's like everyone who's remotely interested in music is like, I'll be in a band too, and more power to them.
Yeah.
I fully support everyone who wants to try to follow that and chase that down. But I do believe that, like you said, it's like it becomes really hard on a Friday night. It's like, I got 7 friends playing shows. I'd love to go see them, but I'm playing a show. Well, fucking Kyle subbed you in 2 gigs that night.
Classic.
There's also
situation.
I don't know, it might be Toronto, there's so many different cultures here. I'm not, it's definitely not a bad thing, but I mean, there's little pockets of everything in the city, but there's not a whole unified type of thing going on. You know
There's
what I
not
mean?
a street, in New Orleans, there's like a street,
Exactly. Yeah.
live music, go up
Street,
this
yeah.
street.
And that's the same with here too. Everything, there's like a bar here. There's a bar another mile away. There's this. There's no There's
kind of
no
walk.
unifying.
Yeah, there's
anything about
this
the
bar
city.
is the bar you would go to see country music, and as opposed to here's a street full of bands.
Full of
Queen Street used to have that kind of thing going on.
Queen Street, yeah.
And what happened is all the venues got closed down and got booted out. When they're the people who made that whole block there trendy
Toronto
and cool and raised the price of the real estate
Well,
there.
I mean, that's another whole area of this also, is just that artists can't afford to live in this city. The people who want to create and not just chase a bunch of money are just every day getting priced out.
I don't know how
living
anybody
here.
can afford to live in this.
Yeah, but it's a city not protecting those areas, and they're trying to. I heard that they're trying to build a condo where Sneaky D's is that should just not happen because it's
awesome.
a pillar of that corner. That's a landmark for the city.
But
that's
that's so tall.
I know, but that's getting rid of Honest Ed's, for example, right?
I just picture this corporate bully going to Sneaky D's being like, hey, Sneaky D's, how are your sales doing right now during COVID? How would you like this nice $1 million for me to just tear down your restaurant right now?
Yeah,
It's probably
Again,
that
it hurts
fucking
my-
guy who knocked on the door earlier.
Right.
But the
It
city
just hurts to
should
imagine.
You can hear you through the wall.
Yeah.
Yeah,
the
come
city
at
should
me.
be going to bat more for places that of importance like that, and
think
they're
they-
not,
Exactly,
right?
yeah. To have
They,
more
they
places
might,
like
they
that.
might actually. I saw it this morning. They might actually stop it.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. There was a petition
There was a
for
petition
it, and I think
for it.
enough people are sick of this shit.
The city
that
needs
are-
to,
they're
yeah,
gonna
they need
stand
to
up
put
for it.
like a street and be like, hey, we can put bars and clubs and entertainment on this. They used to have an
Yeah.
entertainment
Yeah.
district,
Yeah.
like that whole area downtown,
Yeah.
like 15 years ago or whatever.
Richmond
It'll be
and Kingston.
And
very
instead, it's
interesting.
like, no, let's build condos and
Yeah.
like.
What are the people in living in the condo? What are they gonna do if there's no? like,
Exactly.
what are they
that's-
gonna do? Like,
That's gonna happen.
You can't
What
just
do they
go,
do?
Go to work.
And then come back.
Go on their
You need a
computer,
life- you
I
need a
guess.
lifestyle.
I mean, we're already seeing stuff like that happen. Like, I remember I went to school at North Toronto, kind of young in Eglinton area. And I remember walking by there a couple of years ago and seeing a couple signs out in front of these new condo builds saying, like, just so you know, for like new parents and expecting parents, if you move in here, there's not enough schools around here to support your children. So, like, move in here, that's great, and pay us tons of money for your condo. But you're gonna have to send your kids like elsewhere for school because there's literally not enough schools
Yeah.
to support all these condos that are being built.
What a bizarre
You know what I
sign.
mean? So like
Who
if something
put that up?
but if something like
Who paid
that is
for it?
happening, no, that's like the city of Toronto being like,
Yeah.
we can't literally support more children in this area.
I'm so
You guys are
surprised they
moving
would
in.
put that
we have to build more schools.
So like, so I mean, that's
is
a
also
great
like
example
13
of.
years
I
ago.
mean, you can apply that same thing to music, right?
Yeah.
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 You know, sure, like have all these condos and have all these people move in, but like we don't have nearly the amount of arts infrastructure
Yeah.
here for you guys to have fun. So like, I don't know, stay at home and watch.
Or vice
Netflix or
versa.
something,
Yeah,
you know?
vice
Stay
versa.
home.
Saying like,
Yeah.
this is an area that is designated for clubs, bars, restaurants, and whatnot. If you move here, you will be dealing with noise. You'll be and not have someone move up above a small venue that's been there for 15 years that had music and then complain.
just complain about
And
it.
after one or two complaints, the city comes and shuts down and fines them, and they're not allowed to do music anymore. It's like. That was their model for 15 years.
Yeah.
Joe Blow just moved upstairs, like last week, and then shut the venue down. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
that's
That
not fair.
Joe Blow has been shutting down venues in this town.
Where can we
Famous
find this Joe
announcement.
Blow?
Folks, thanks so much for tuning into the Cory Hotline complaint hour,
exactly.
where we
I feel like
complain.
All right.
About that,
Let's be
about,
positive.
about that voice,
Alright.
I'm very sure that the hotline was your idea.
It wasn't.
No. Really?
No.
Man,
But
that
when someone was like,
such
just
an
like make a
interesting
bunch
thing.
of. Did you
We
like
actually
it?
called.
Oh yeah, we
Oh,
actually
yeah.
called.
Yeah.
We had a lot of fun pressing buttons and
It
listening
was-
to what you were saying.
It was not
That's
my
you, right?
idea. It is me, yeah.
Yeah.
But it wasn't my idea, but when someone was like, why don't we do this? I was like, yeah, I could fucking bullshit a hotline.
Yeah.
And
Literally
then
born for that.
it was a lot of fun to make. But no, it wasn't our idea.
No.
We did a short partnership with Humber College where
Okay.
there was like a...
Yeah, you guys are one of the winners, right? Like,
yeah, it was like a music development sort of grant
Yeah, we're selected.
through Humber,
Congrats,
where they
man.
have. Thank you so much. They have like a music business program, and so they selected like 2 bands for their students to basically manage for 3 months.
It's a really cool idea.
Yeah, it was
Wow,
cool.
yeah.
Get some real world experience and still like have it in
Very
a school
cool, yeah.
setting.
Yeah.
And so one of the students who was part of that program with us pitched that idea, and then we said yes, good idea. Thanks
Yeah,
for working
I think
for free.
we had talked about that idea conceptually like a while back, and we were looking at the Cory Haim and whatever hotline, making fun of that.
Right.
So it was the thought was there, I think,
Yeah.
and that's why we were probably also so ready to jump on it, because them kind of pushing that idea too. We were like, okay,
Like solidified how.
yeah,
good
we're
the
like, we
idea
had been
was.
joking about it, but now there's someone else who really thinks that it
Yeah,
can
it's
work,
not
and they're
only
willing
us
to help us
being
do
crazy.
it. That I think that was the big push.
Yeah. It sounded amazing. I saw the video first in YouTube one day,
Nice.
and I was like, no, I'm very sure that doesn't work. And then I saw that it actually said like, this is actually a number.
We had to
We had to put that in because we knew
Nobody
no one was
believed
gonna
it.
actually believe it was real. You know?
Yeah.
Like no, like what is a meme? You know, like call this number. Like who calls at numbers anymore?
Exactly.
Yeah,
I was like,
exactly.
no,
Like,
this is probably
For
a
anything.
joke or whatever, but it's still funny. I was
I
like,
mean,
okay, this video is funny, but that's
It
it.
is a joke, but there is also a hotline.
Yeah.
And then I called the number. I was like, oh my god, they actually bought a number for this.
Yeah.
Hot Corey, dude.
Yeah, we would
6 hot Corey.
1833
1833.
Sorry, I play the bass guitar.
1833
Don't listen to
hot
anything I
Corey.
say.
Can you put it in?
Yeah.
Like,
I'll put it right there.
And we change up the content.
Yeah, we change the
every
messages.
every week.
Oh,
or
really?
so.
Every now and then?
Yeah. Did you?
Every
couple
or
of weeks.
so.
Yeah, that's what I said. Every week or so. For now, once it gets a little, gets more people
Easier?
calling it,
Yeah.
we've got 20 hours.
Wow, is that how much we
I
recorded?
don't know. Sure.
Well,
I'll
there's a
let
bunch
you-
of stuff. I don't know if I should put all that stuff on there.
You definitely should.
Yeah, you definitely should.
Take the really racy stuff though and like put it up for one day only.
Yeah.
It's like,
Either way, we've got lots of content that we'll put up as the hotline gets a little more busy. Did you guys leave a message?
No, I didn't.
Oh, okay.
We should leave a message.
But I will.
I was
yeah,
like,
I
was that
definitely
really
will.
creepy one, you guys? Kissing with the tongue?
So I
Pretty
know you guys
hilarious.
kiss
It's
the
not like a
tongues.
Tuesday.
You heard right.
Yeah, there's been some really funny messages.
Oh yeah, people
Yeah.
do leave messages.
Some really nice ones that people just rooting for us and cheering us on, and some really like hilarious dark ones of people fucking with us. Yeah.
You guys have haters?
No, I
think
mean
it's,
like
for to laugh at.
yeah. Like they're taking what Matt did and then going even deeper into the grave.
That sounds fun.
Yeah.
So that program sounds really good, like the partnership you guys did.
Yeah, I think we got a lot of really good stuff out of it.
Yeah.
And it kept, during COVID, in a way, it was a blessing for us, I think, because it gave us a reason to start really working on stuff when we were all kind of just like,
It was so easy to just I'll just die.
yeah.
And then they were like, actually, you have to do this.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, I'll make a hotline.
And
Yeah,
just, like,
it definitely
weekly
kept
meetings
us
and-
doing stuff
Yeah.
as opposed to like.
So I think we
Another
progressed pretty far in that short time just because of having that opportunity and having the kids work with us, giving their own kind of unique ideas and perspectives. Like outside of our band, we had this whole team. A lot of bands, struggle so much because they work just as the band. They don't have this team like you used to have. Even in like just the 90s, you still had a team of people who were helping you.
Yeah.
Now it's just like not only are you writing all the music and really spending all that time trying to make your masterpiece, but now you have to be an expert in marketing and music business, and you have to be the schmoozer.
Online
You have to
stuff.
talk to all these people and like get rejected constantly. It's hard on the soul enough as just being a tortured musician and artist.
Yeah.
Now you have to deal with people who make you feel like shit too. So
I feel you. I'm a photographer, so I know exactly
Also happened.
I know exactly what you mean.
yeah, like filmmakers would know the same thing, and yeah.
Going to the arts, folks.
Yeah, exactly.
Be a musician, they said.
Yep.
Yeah.
Come to Dazed Confused. We're not charging for psychological treatment. We're listening artists, so you're more than invited to come.
Free champagne.
Free champagne. Or wait, do we have to pay for that?
That's not
What?
free.
Guys, that's Prosecco. It has to be from champagne to be champagne.
Yeah, it's true.
You're right.
Read a fucking book.
Okay, Sir Kanye.
I think I did a champagne speech in like grade 11 French class or something.
Nice.
It's very delicious.
Oh yeah.
Grade 11.
I don't remember the grade.
All the champagne.
So you guys are dropping an album this year.
Yes.
Let's talk about that.
Okay. We released, I think, 4 songs already. We've been recording and making the album for a while, but it's been done for quite some time, and so we've released the first few songs. I think there's one more that just kind of mentioned earlier, The Wheel, that's got a real long synthesizer solo in it, and that'll be kind of the last remaining single, and then we'll release the back half of the album.
Yeah.
Do you guys have a producer for that album?
It's Connor! Sweet baby Connor, you see.
Yeah.
Awesome Connor.
Well, all the music you've heard so far is from the album.
It's all
right?
from everything you've
Yeah,
heard.
it's been done for a while. We released it like at the beginning of the year. This record would have been out already had it not been for this
COVID's
thing.
not the greatest time.
Yeah,
But
so
you're advertising a lot in Instagram, Facebook, and social media, right? Because that's how I got close to you.
Oh, cool.
That's how I listened to the music.
You saw an ad and
Yeah, I saw an ad and I was like, oh, they really sound amazing. And
that was
that's
probably
how
that
I
Humber.
met you.
Yeah, it was probably the
Yeah.
Humber people.
Oh, really?
well, if it was just recently,
Thank
yeah.
those Humber kids, man.
Thank him again.
They did a lot of work.
Yeah, Connor, did you actually like study music production, or were you like just
No.
from scratch, like everything ground up?
Well,
Yeah,
You studied music.
I went to school for music, but like
What did you study, if you don't mind? And where'd you go?
classical guitar at U of T.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. But after university, I kind of was just like, I don't really want to play classical music anymore. I just want to play in bands. And then
You don't get laid playing classical guitar.
No.
Well, it depends.
you do by the flautist.
He doesn't have the chest there for it.
classical guitar is good for like a date. Like hey, I'm gonna play something for you on guitar.
Sure, if you're a fucking nerd.
Cuban sunrise or whatever.
I actually love there's that one piece especially like I do.
Cuban sunrise.
Yeah.
For sure. I mean, it
Every
sounds
time we do
nice.
drugs, Matt.
Yeah.
Let's hear that song.
Yeah, when we do
Anyways.
drugs.
Or romance is the classic.
Anyways, so I wanted to like make great recordings, and like when I started making recordings, they just kept sounding like shit. And I was like, why can't this sound as good as like Nirvana or like whatever, right?
Yeah.
And they're just rock band stuff, and I was like, what, like.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be that. It shouldn't be that hard. Yeah, it's just drums, bass, and guitar or whatever.
Yeah.
And then so after like going to different studios and like paying people to mix it, I was like, all of you suck. I'm gonna learn how to do this, and I'm gonna make it great. And so, yeah, that's big. I just like
You spent the time.
I
doing
just started
That's what
doing
was,
it. Yeah,
right?
I was like, how do I like make the drum sound good? I was like, go to YouTube, watch up tutorials, get some. I set up my room as this. Spent a long time like learning how to mix through speakers and like how to treat the room and everything, and what to listen for, and like how to make things sound, how to separate things, like how to put things in their place.
Yeah, frequency wise.
Yeah, like a lot of compressing and equalizing.
Listen, musicians are perfectionists by definition, but Connor is like a perfectionist among perfectionists. You know what I mean? Like Connor puts like usual, like the normal amount of perfectionistic musician crap like to shame. It's just like if you love something that much or you're that passionate about it, like he just iterates until he like gets it right. And that's the
quality
that I really respect.
That's the classical training though, because classical,
sure.
especially classical guitar, is like you're a solo performer, and like your only standard is perfect. That's it.
Yeah.
So like,
I guess
that's
that
what it
school
is.
was good for something after all.
Well, music school, I learned how to.
I think it's a trait though among like a lot of musicians or artists in general is that it's not like we just picked it up an instrument or he picked up the computer and put Logic there and was good at it right away. Like we put out like so much time and effort into our craft, and like whether you go to school or not, it still takes a lot of time and effort, and you have to want to do it, and you have to have a standard for yourself.
And it requires time, right? Like at the end of the day, you're like 8 hours editing the same piece, and you're like, fuck, I still don't like it.
Patience.
I need to do it again. I need to do it again and again and again. And then suddenly you're like 3 a.m. working on the same part.
Yeah.
Fuck, what is going on here?
Only 3?
That's true, but eventually you just gotta release it.
Yeah.
Like
That's
he
the
could
thing,
he could keep mixing the album forever. It'll never be done.
That was my next question.
Knowing this guy,
when did you say, okay, it's okay?
How much
It's
feedback?
still not okay.
How much feedback do you take from these guys?
None.
No. I listen
I feel
to
like we literally have to like
No,
drag
there's-
him off the computer at some point.
No, but there's
Like
a
I'll
lot
take
of
his legs, you take his arms, and we just like carry him into another
Listen,
room.
he produced it, and
Yeah.
he definitely was the one who was like putting in that crazy amount of time. But it is definitely a collaborative effort, and the project comes from everyone having their own little thing.
Yeah.
I consider myself an imperfectionist.
But see,
and like there's a
that's-
few moments where it's like, this is too good. Let's fucking reel it back and make it funny.
Like I like working with Matt because I'll get into a mix and I'll like mix the shit out of it, and Matt will come in and be like, turn that instrument up, turn that down, get rid of that, we're good. Or something, you know what I mean? And I'll be like, oh yeah, that's probably what I need to do. You know what I mean? Like after like spending like 8 hours like compressing, EQing everything, sometimes I start to miss the like overall like impact of the whole thing. Yeah. And then someone will come in with a fresh perspective and not a perfectionist perspective and be like, that thing is clouding the whole thing, or that like one part is way too loud or something. You know what I mean? And that's kind of what I feel like that's what works well is when you have like sometimes with people with opposite perspectives.
Those are the joys though of working in tandem or in a band is that like you can only take something so far, and then other people help you get it that rest of the way. Like, and it's also way more fun. Like you can sit and play music all you want by yourself and you're having a great time, but when you start jamming with someone else, it's like a whole other level.
Yeah, I gotta say there was a little like between like our rock band phase and Cory Hotline, I started like getting into synthesizers, and I was like, oh, I can make some like solo music. This will be cool. I made like 3 tracks, and I was like, this is so boring. Like sitting here by myself, and what am I supposed to go on stage and like DJ this and press play? I'm like, this sucks. Yeah, like
You can do the DJ dance. Like, a lot of DJs these days. They just I don't know what they do.
I'm a
They
DJ.
just, like,
Yeah, they don't do
circling
anything.
something,
They don't do anything.
Like the volume button. Like,
Well, everyone's seen those videos online. It's like a big DJ party, and the guy's like turning
like
these
making
knobs, but it's not
pasta.
even actually.
It's not plugged
It's not
in,
even
yeah.
actually plugged into the system. Yeah.
He's just
sad. That's
Don't
so
they have
sad.
the list already made in the computer? Like just the pre-made.
Yeah,
list,
some
right?
DJs. There are actual legit.
There's plenty of talented, skilled
Yeah.
DJs out there.
Yeah.
And the other thing is that, like, if you're making a room full of people fucking move, you're doing something right.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly.
No, not
Yeah.
like the music. I mean like the live performance.
But yeah, like,
Actually
well, I
do
think some
something.
of it's bullshit and some of it isn't. That's
I don't know.
depends
I mean, that
on,
carries over to actual
Everything's
music, too.
performative.
Yeah.
My
It's a-
real job
it's
on stage
entertainment.
is just singing, but
Exactly.
what I actually do is take all my clothes off.
It's
I don't
entertainment.
have to be doing that, but it makes the show a lot
That's my
better.
real
Exactly.
job.
My
You know?
brother once told me this story. He was at like this little pub restaurant. There was a keyboard guy who was playing, and then he like accidentally hit over his like music stand, and then he wasn't playing, but like he had like things going on, and he wasn't
Oh,
even
he stopped playing?
Well, because he had to like grab his music at the stand.
But
It was
if he
covering
was
him like playing, but he wasn't actually playing anything.
That's so
And that guy got paid, like, you
It was
know,
like
the
probably
same
like $100
wages
or
as for
something.
his
Yeah,
gig.
$100 or something.
Well, I mean, I've been to enough clubs where I've been like, I've known a bunch of DJs, and like, when you go to their DJ booth and they're not doing anything.
Yeah.
Like,
All right, easy, Connor.
Yeah, come on.
no, I'm not saying all DJs
That's
are
not
like
true.
that. I'm not saying that's not,
Easy.
but I'm saying like,
Yeah,
they're-
some of them. Because
So
I've
I'm
seen
saying some of them,
some
some of them.
fantastic
Very
DJs
great
live.
DJs.
It's really like commendable, man. Like, because a lot of people have the passion,
Yeah.
they don't actually put in the effort. But
Yeah.
you sound like you're just in it like deep.
Yeah.
Like, you know, because you learn everything yourself.
True.
You just mentioned. So
Yeah.
I want to commend you guys for that.
That's true.
Well,
I want
there's YouTube.
I
would like to-
Those songs sound
People on
amazing.
YouTube.
I really
Yeah.
like the mixing. I really like the sound of them. It's just very, very well organized. It's very well catered. So I really enjoyed listening to the songs
Thanks,
that
guys.
you wrote.
Appreciate it.
Very cool, and congratulations for that. Congratulations on the album that is coming by the end of the year, hopefully.
Yeah.
Looking forward, and looking forward for the live shows as well. Hopefully 2022.
Oh, there might be
Sorry,
one.
yeah, we're
Actually, we might have a
We might do a
show
thing.
coming up. Yeah,
Yeah, I
stay
think we're
tuned.
gonna do
Tell us more
a
about
little
that.
outdoor show.
Maybe at the end of
Sorry,
September.
whereabouts? Where's September?
End of September.
But like with
Yeah.
with like social distance.
At a secret location
touch.
that
Oh,
we
awesome.
will.
No touching, no kissing.
No kissing, no touching.
Well, I don't know.
Well, we'll kiss.
There might. Yeah,
We'll
we're gonna
kiss.
kiss.
We're in the kiss.
Don't take that away from me.
Look, I mean, people could sort themselves out outside.
Yeah, I guess.
Just-
Yeah.
You do you.
Yeah.
So I guess everyone just follow Cory Hotline Music on Instagram to know more about this show. Everyone follow Cory Hotline Music in Instagram to know more about their live show coming up in the next couple of weeks, next couple of months probably, and the album. Keep listening to them in Spotify. They sound amazing. They're the coolest guys we've ever met.
Wow.
Oh! Dude, that was nice. Ow, I bit my tongue.
An amazing musician, very talented people,
Very hardworking as well.
hardworking.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for being
Yeah.
here. Thank you.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks. Good clap.
Hey, folks, give yourselves a hand at home.